It said we'll start soon.
Yep, it says, yep.
Okay.
That's a bonus.
Yes. Well, good morning, everybody. Welcome to this session on accessing ebooks and audiobooks through your school and we'll put in public library. So my name is Melissa Tom. Rachel, do you want to introduce yourself?
I'm Rachel Tanucci. I'm one of the Connor teacher librarians. Yeah.
And I'm at Bristol Middle School, and I am going to actually get our presentation up. So I'm going to share my screen. We have some slides we put together, and we're going to be really doing kind of going to these actual sites and just showing you where to get things. So that is our information for future contact, and we both really want to encourage anybody watching either live or the recording to feel free to email us or to connect with us on social media. And just if you have questions, please reach out and ask us because we are here. So
we absolutely love helping people. You're not bothering us, so please always ask, because we can do that work for you. We can do the back end work for you, even if you need a specific title and you just don't have time to look it up, or you don't remember all the options, how to do it. Send us an email, shoot us a really quick message, and we are happy to do the searching for you as well if you don't have time for that.
Yes, absolutely. I'm really glad you said that. All right, and Lee knows that as a fellow librarian that we like it when you ask us for help. So I'm going to start with a quick book talk, and Rachel's going to end with a quick book talk. We think that that's something really important no matter what we're doing. And so this is the book. I did record it. It's on the presentation, so you can watch that or share that with students at a later time. But I just recently finished this book. It's called The Book Wanderers. It's part of Pages and Company series. The second one is going to be coming out in the United States in like a week, I think. I pre-ordered it, so I'm very excited. And the author is Anna James. So this is a book for book lovers. It is about a girl whose grandparents own a used bookstore in England, and she finds out that she has this power to enter into books. It's very much like Inkheart, if you know the Inkheart series from a while back. And this, there's my favorite character of all time is one of the characters that she gets to visit in her book, Anne of Green Gables. I love Anne of Green Gables. And so this is, there's a little bit of kind of darkness to this too, though, because Tilly's mom disappeared when she was a baby, and she's never really been told much about her mom nor her father, who she never met. She doesn't really know. She's just been told he died. And so she's kind of trying to figure out this mystery as she's learning about this ability to book wander. And then she meets a very insidious man at the library that her grandfather takes her to, that is kind of the under library of the world and organizes all the book wanderers and the magic behind it. And so she is kind of trying to figure out what his deal is and why nobody really has learned that he actually is insidious. So lots of adventure, lots of literary connections. Definitely a fan of the series, so I highly recommend it.
Is this for just like middle school, or can it be lower?
Definitely. The content could be anything. Like you could read it aloud to a second grade class, really. But reading ability and level, I would say anything third, fourth grade for proficient advanced readers.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. So let me go back to my presentation. Oh my gosh. Here we go. All right. So you can see my screen again?
Yes.
Okay. So we just put together a one-pager of some different tools for ebooks and audiobooks that we are familiar with and recommend. The ones that are highlighted are ones that we are going to kind of focus on for this presentation, just because of the length of time. But we want to make sure you know where these things are and what they're for. And we divided into these three columns. So we have fiction, nonfiction, and audiobooks. And I know that Monica had mentioned she was specifically looking for audiobooks, and there's lots of really great options. And actually, we could add Sora and Overdrive over here to the audiobooks as well, because that definitely has both.
Right. Yeah, I wanted to say, even with nonfiction, some of our collections have, biography and like that. So it's not that really the nonfiction category is the only one that is specific and limited to nonfiction, but fiction, the Sora, Overdrive, Hoopla under that also do have some memoirs and things that we have in our collections. The audiobook column is specifically audiobooks.
Correct.
But,
and I want to just point out on, this isn't highlighted, but if you are familiar with Audible and a user, you might want to consider migrating over to Libro.fm. They are really the same service and price as Audible. The difference is that Libro.fm supports independent bookstores. And Audible, as you may or may not know, is connected with Amazon. So just in the spirit of local business and supporting our local independent bookstore owners, you can sign up for Libro. If you want to just give it a test run, you can suspend your Audible account for 90 days. That nothing changes. You just don't get charged and you don't get new credits. So you can see if Libro works for you. But the thing that I love the most about Libro is they have a free educator program, and I've hyperlinked it. So I don't know, Rachel, if you want to put the link to this presentation in the notes so they have it.
Sure. Yep.
You can click this and you can sign up, and you will get access to free audiobooks every month to kind of preview. It doesn't cost you anything. You don't have to sign up. I've been part of the free educator program for about 3 months now, and I just recently officially started subscribing to the Libro service in addition to that. So that's something that not a lot of people know about, but it's such an amazing resource. So definitely look into that. And do we want to get started with the Sora Overdrive, Rachel?
Sure.
So I'll put it here, and we'll show you just the interface for Sora that is generic. And actually, I'm signed in because if you look on mine, you can see that I have connected with West Hartford Public School middle schools. So those of you who are middle school teachers, you would be doing the same thing. You also can connect your public library cards, which is awesome. So I have a few ones that are down here that I can access. So if I do a search for a book, it allows me to see everything that's available at both my middle school collection and the public library collection that I have access to. So that's really cool. Rachel, did you want to show the interface for high school?
Sure. I don't want to people, but I do want to show you just how to log in for the high school. One moment.
Yeah, I'm gonna stop presenting. And for middle school, we have the Google integration, which is awesome. You literally can log in with Google, so you don't need to know a separate number or password. So Monica, if you want to try to get there and see if you can access while we're talking, you can do that in case you have questions.
The big difference between middle school and high school is middle school students log in with their Google ID and high school students log in with their computer network ID. So they're 10 letters starting with their last name. We may change that eventually, but we weren't able to in a timely manner.
So is there a way for elementary schools to log in or no?
Not at this time. It's 6/12 right now, but I think it would be great for fifth graders to know that they'll be moving to that in sixth grade.
Okay.
And again, this is just through the school. When we start talking about the Overdrive and Hoopla through the public library, that's everybody.
So Overdrive is the company and the umbrella under all of these. And then within those, they have created apps to make it easier for teachers and students to use, making it more user-friendly. So the Sora app is the Overdrive app for school. You can get to the books either way. If you just had Overdrive on your phone as an app, or you just went to our library page and saw the word Overdrive, the same sort of library would come up as long as you added your school. So Melissa showed her libraries that she's added. I've added Conard High School, Hall High School, Library Connection, which is West Hartford Public Library's system that they use. And if I had another public library that I was a member of in my own town, I could add that as well. So you add each library collection that you want to search through. And then we tailor, as the managers of the library collections, we kind of can tailor Sora in the Sora app to our school and our students and what they need. So you see that what comes up here is something that Overdrive added. They're calling it Sora Sweet Reads, and actually those populated into everybody's collections from April 15th to July 31st. These will be available all the time. So in other words, if you check out Black Panther, if I go to check this out, normally in our collections, when I clicked borrow, nobody else would be able to borrow it. But because they've made these available to everyone, everyone can borrow this.
And that's called multi-user in the ebook and audiobook world, which we like those kinds of books a lot.
Yeah, that's what everybody's always looking for. So there you go. I immediately have that available to me to read as an ebook.
And Lee had asked the question, we have Sora as a Google app. Our kids can't access this. And the answer is not for school, because Sora, which is, as Rachel said, is part of Overdrive, it is a subscription-based resource. So we pay to access and get titles every year in 6 through 12. And as a middle school teacher, I don't have access to the high school collection. And Rachel, as a high school teacher, doesn't have access to the middle school collection. Then that's how it's set up. However, I do believe in if they go through the app and they set it up with their public library card, I think that they can access then the public library collection through the Sora app.
Yes, they can.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay.
So that might be something you want to look into if you're not able to subscribe to Overdrive as a school just because of the cost.
Okay.
So look into
How much does it cost? How much does it cost?
It depends, honestly. I think it depends how much you decide to purchase for content. And there is the way that Overdrive as a company works is you pay for like the platform, essentially. Like if we were to stop paying next year, we would not have access to our collection anymore. It's not like a Mac and Via where you purchase the title and that title, you own it as long as the rights of that book. Some books are perpetual, some are 24 months or 24 checkouts. So Mac and Via is a little different. With Overdrive, if you don't continue the service, you lose access to the collection, from what I understand. And I know for the middle school, we pay $3,000 as a middle school all together, us three, and we divide it proportionally based on our budgets.
Okay.
But we've had this for quite some time and we don't see it going away. So the great thing is that it will be here, as long as we have the budgets for it, 6/12 every year. And we keep adding to the collection just like we would for our print book collection.
Right. And I have asked Overdrive that question. I said, well, what if sometime in the future my budget is cut and I can't afford to pay for it? And they had said that they would try really hard to work with us and that they would charge a very, very nominal fee to just keep the service up. We couldn't add anything, but they said they would do their best to help us keep access to the titles we already had in our accounts. And that $3,000 that we pay now, collectively amongst Shannon, Dave, and I, we get to spend on books. So it's not like none of that money goes towards the service, quote unquote. It goes all towards new titles that we can add to our collection.
Okay.
So Lee, if you're ever thinking of it for 5th grade or 4th and 5th grade, because all 6/12 have it, I bet they would give you some sort of deal as another member of West Hartford. We can explore that later.
Okay. Yeah. Well, you can get picture books.
Oh my gosh, there's everything.
Yeah. Okay. All right. I have to go to grade 2. Sarah.
Bye, Lee.
Bye.
Bye,
I
Lee.
might be back. Okay.
Okay.
Thank you. Bye.
Yep. Bye.
It takes me a minute to hang up. Okay.
So this is just, what our collection looks like. I've just begun playing around with adding collections. These are the nutmegs from 2020. Ebooks, some audiobooks. You see the headphones mean it's an ebook. The headphones mean it's an audiobook. When you don't see that, it's just an ebook. These can all be used on any device that you choose. You can download the app on your phone, on your iPad, on your computer itself, whatever you prefer to use. They
and
added
it's a tablet as well. So iOS and Droid and Samsung and everything.
They added Harry Potter in every language. And these just happen to be some of the Conard collections, like memoirs and autobiography. So it's not just fiction, it's whatever we want to put in our collection. We do have a lot of students who do independent reading with memoirs and autobiography for their classes. And then we've just got popular titles, poetry collections, and we can tailor this however we like. So that's the difference between Sora and Overdrive. Sora lets us as the librarian tailor our collection to our student needs.
Yep.
So lots of good stuff. We never knew how much we would need this with this, situation we're in right now. We're very, very lucky to have it.
And for instance, I'm thinking too, for, teachers out there listening to this workshop, if you have kids that would, you can access, like if you're a middle school teacher, you can access all of the middle school content. You can check out books for your kids to read, as then can the high school teachers for their kids, and then for yourself as well. And if there's things that are not in the collection that you would love to see and you can't find them on another source that you have access to, just send the librarian an email and they will add it to a cart that when they have content credit, they would probably be able to purchase that. It might not be immediate, but just let them know when there's things that you don't see that you would really like. So
yeah, and if you're for the parents, if they ask how they can use it, they're going to use their students' login. So their students' Google ID, or the high school, they're going to use their students' network ID.
Well, and for teachers that don't have kids that are in our system, you just use yours. And it's the same for middle school. You can log in with Google. If you have any issues, email the librarian. And then the high school, the teacher would need to get their 6-digit ID number probably. I believe that's how I used to have to do it before we integrated in the middle school with Google, but teachers can still log in.
Now, and you saw that we added West Hartford Public Libraries here. So if I want to change to their collection, I can look at it and see what they have.
Yep. And if you search for a book up there, though, it'll show you all of the results from all of the libraries you are connected with.
So there's tons of stuff. They have a huge graphic novel section. I guess the only thing I would say is, make sure to look at your school first, because the public library is obviously going to be used by a lot more people. So they may have things that are checked out and you're not able to get it. Check our school and see if it's available at your school. Check out. We have it set for 21 days, 3 weeks, which is our regular checkout during the year with the print books. So it returns automatically. You don't need to worry about returning it or remembering to return it. It will give you updates and notifications telling you when it's going to be returned. And if nobody wants it, you can check it back out again after it expires.
Yeah. All right. So let's move on to Hoopla, if that's okay with you, Rachel.
Yep.
So do you want me to share my screen? I have Hoopla up on my tab, or maybe you do already?
Yeah, I have it up.
Oh, it's right there. Yay. Yeah. So one of the things that I want us to make sure we know too, and it's in the slideshow, that if you do not have a public library card, or if you've lost yours, you don't know where it is, you don't know your number, you can contact the library. There is information on our slide directly exactly where to go and who to call, and they will hook you up immediately. And this is for all teachers in West Hartford. This is really important. So I know a lot of us don't live in West Hartford, I live in Brantford, so technically I can't get a teacher card for West Hartford because I don't live in West Hartford. They are allowing teachers to apply for West Hartford library cards through June 30th. They're temporary, so it will expire on June 30th for me. But right now, I can log into the West Hartford Public Library system, and I can check out books with Hoopla. I can look to see what's available, so I can recommend books for students and teachers. So definitely put that on, like, we're going to give you some time to try to work on some of these things before we end this workshop. So go through and start trying to set some of this up so that it's ready to go when you're ready to use it, when we're here to help you. So the Hoopla is amazing, and I use it all the time. I do a lot of audiobooks when I drive for my commute because it's an hour one way. And I have utilized my Hoopla to its fullest extent. And with this situation happening, I am not positive about West Hartford because on our slide, typically you get 4 checkouts a month. I think that they've increased it. I know that in my library system, it had been 5 checkouts and it went up to 10. So I can check out 10 different things now throughout the month. And Hoopla isn't only books. Hoopla is, well, it's ebooks and audiobooks. It's TV shows. It's movies. So it's a variety of, it's all those things you see there. It's a variety of forums and medium that you can access for either you or your kids. One thing that I want to make sure people know about is that if you just do a general search, everything comes up, including books that are not appropriate to kids. But if you click right to the right of that box where it says kids, it will filter and it will only show you kid appropriate things. So just make sure that if you have your students and your kiddos looking at this, make sure that they have that activated. I mean, because there's a lot of stuff that comes up. Things that I search, I'm like, I'm not sure how that's connected to what I just searched, but okay. And the other big difference between Hoopla and Overdrive, because you can also obviously access Overdrive through your public library, like we mentioned, this is multi-user. You do not have to wait to check something out. So if there's something that you want to read, you look it up, and it's sort of a popular book right now, chances are through Overdrive, you're going to have to put it on hold, and a couple weeks later, you'll get a notification. With Hoopla, if it is a title that is available, you can check it out immediately. So, and they have actually a couple of here on there. They have a couple of the forthcoming nutmegs because I've checked. This presentation is more about independent and pleasure reading, but we're going to do another session at some point about connecting ebooks and audiobooks with your curriculum and your content. This is a great place to look to see what titles are available because everybody can have it checked out at the exact same time, which is huge. So the librarians are really going to be pushing for teachers to be looking to see what Hoopla has because it's going to be another added resource. So you can see they have, look at all these amazing audiobooks that she just pulled up. I mean, these are really popular books for kids.
The Fire series. Yeah, everyone's looking for those.
They have the I Survived, the entire series as audio. I just checked for a student the other day. A Long Walk to Water. I know that's a book that 6th grade often does in social studies. They have Pete the Cat. So that's a really popular like picture book for the young ones. There's so much. You just have to spend some time looking. You can favorite it so that when you go into your account, you can just click on your favorites and kind of see what you had looked up before and immediately check something out.
You can also, put all kinds of limiters in here if you just want to look at the most recent, how people rated it, anything you want to add as a filter for searching in here, you can do.
And I have the Hoopla app on my phone. So I usually just use my phone, honestly. I don't go to the website very often because you can search just like this within your app. So just be aware though, when you check it out and you're on your phone, you always want to download it to the device. Otherwise it's going to be using your data. And I kind of learned that the hard way. I ran out of data the first couple of months I was using this. I'm like, what is happening? But it's because I was just streaming it as I was in my car. I didn't download it. Yeah, that's what it looks like. You can see your borrowed and then your favorites. So you can kind of see. It's such an amazing resource and it's all part of your public library. So definitely start looking at that. Do either of you have any questions or comments or?
I just wanted to show, Sora too is the
yes.
app on the phone. So
Yep.
that's what it will look like with your library. It's so easy.
Is there a limit to the amount of, I know like with Hoopla, it's like 4, maybe you can check out at a time through the public library, but through the school's resources, do you guys limit how many books someone can check out in the middle school or high school level if they do it through your catalog?
Yeah, we set it, I think we had it set to 3, but I may look, I think when I was talking to the Overdrive rep about something else, I might have changed it to 5. So we can set it to whatever we want.
And middle school, I think we probably have it set on 2. And that's a good point. I should talk to the other 2 librarians to see if we can go in and change that. But that would be like another email. Just make sure that the students know that they can just email us if there's an issue and we can go in and check things out. But yeah, that's a good question.
Okay.
I want to talk about Audiobook Sync for a second.
Oh yeah, that's great for young adult for sure, and like for adult. I'm always excited for those titles.
Yeah, let me.
You get it. I have it in a tab if you want me to pull it up and you talk.
Sure.
Okay, I'll do that.
There's both the website to show it's coming, and then the fact that they can add it as a library in Sora.
Found it. Hold on. I got it. And this starts Friday? Is it
Tomorrow?
Maybe? Oh my gosh.
I think it's the 30th. Yep.
Wait. Okay. There it is.
So with all the free available offerings that are coming, this is something that happens every year. It happened last year at least, but now through Sora, you can add this collection as a library in your Sora app. So just like you added Conard or Bristow or West Hartford Public Library, if you search for the name of this, which is Audiobook Sync, that will actually appear as a library in your app, in your Sora app. And through Overdrive, starting tomorrow, for a limited time, is it every 2 weeks, every month?
Every week.
Every week they offer.
Every week they release two new titles.
So these are the ones that are becoming available tomorrow. Monday's
Yes.
not coming in the 57 bus.
And they try to pair a fiction with a nonfiction that has some connection in one way or another. And I do want to just reiterate, though, that these are meant to be for teens YA, 13 plus. There's some very mature content in some of these books. And like I said, I use it for myself and I recommend it to my 8th graders for the most part. So just, again, it's really not for younger kids. It might be more for yourself. And I highly recommend you fill this out. You just register if you're interested in these titles, because it will then, you can set up a text reminder. The kicker also is that you have to download these titles the week that they are available. If you don't and you forget and they go to the next 2 titles, you're out of luck. The other thing is that these are then, there's no expiration like a library. You have these books. Rachel, you had said you knew it was last year. I've been doing this, I think, for 5 years. And
really?
I have titles on my Overdrive app because I haven't added it to Sora yet since that's new this year. I have titles from 5 years ago that I haven't listened to yet, but they're in my library.
That's awesome. I didn't know that.
They don't take up space on your phone if you don't have them downloaded to your phone. They're just in your library, like Audible. You can like download it to your app and then you can delete it from your phone and your app, but the title's still there. So if you want to download it again in the future, you can. So that it's something that they're always there, which is awesome. And these 2 books, oh my gosh, these, I have not read either of them, but they are amazingly poignant and popular and like talk about really important issues. They're heavy for sure. This book actually was one of the nonfiction young adult nominees 2 years ago. Mm-hmm. It might have even won, honestly. It might have won that award. So yeah. This is
I almost brought Monday's Not Coming Home, the hardcover, and I just didn't when I grabbed like a bunch of stuff to bring home, thinking we were going to be out of school for 2 weeks. I think I actually believed that. So now this is my chance to read these because these have both been on my list for a while. So I'm excited about that. I think we're going to do it with the library book club kids.
Oh, that's awesome.
These are great for book clubs.
Yes, I mean, because everybody can access them. They just
Mhm.
need to get the app, which is fabulous. So, so that's AudioSync. What's the next one? Do we want to just mention it's 9:51? So we still have about, like 9-10 minutes where we can kind of talk things. And then if you guys have specific questions, a couple of, well, this one I did want to talk a little bit about RB Digital. I had kind of forgotten about it. We got another email to the librarians and like throughout the state. I was not always a big fan of RB Digital. This is something to the state library, but I think they've updated some things and they've made it easier to use. Do you use this at all, Rachel?
I haven't, but I'm going to look at it again because of the very thing you just said. They're making they beefed up their collection a little bit during this time, it looks like.
Yes, and this is also important because in the past, you also needed a library card to log into this account. It sounds like that you now don't need your library card in front of you. You just use this to log in. So if you go to the link from here, this is a direct link at the top here, and you can look through. They've added a lot of new books recently. They will be rolling out the new Nutmeg 2021 titles starting Friday because May 1st is when those get announced. So there'll be new books that will come up then. They have most of the 2020 ones from this past year. And again, they have all levels. It's like K beyond. I mean, they have picture books. They have both ebooks and audiobooks. Oh my gosh. Rachel, did you read this one? The Gentleman's Guide to Vice and Virtue?
Yes, I did.
Amazing.
Amazing.
I still recommend. That's definitely young adult, but and the audio, it's a British narrator. I can't even. And the second one I liked even more. What is it? The
Pirates, Petticoats.
Ladies' Guide to Petticoats and Pirates and Petticoats or something.
Ladies' Guide to Pirates, Petticoats and Piracy, I believe.
Yeah, so good. I highly recommend that. So that's another one that we have access to if we're in the state of Connecticut. So that's everybody.
Is that one you have to have like a subscription to, or can anyone just go to that website and access it?
Yes.
Anyone can go to the website and access. And like we had said prior to this, like last 6 weeks, you needed to have your library card to log in. It's like the Research at CT databases. If you're at school, you're connected with their IP address. You don't need any username, login, password, anything. When you go home, you need to log in and access with your library card because it's a state library resource that they pay for. But now this looks like it's open for everybody. So why don't you try it? Why don't you open up a different tab and just do a Google search for RB Digital Connecticut. It'll get you to this site and try to just access and see what happens.
I do need this access code that's right here.
CT State Lib 20, but it's on the main page when you get to the interface. And then these also, it goes to an app as well. I don't know, Rachel, the answer. Maybe you do. Can you read it right within? And actually,
we can try it right now. You mean the app?
Yeah, I don't know because I know I have the app. You can preview it.
I'll see if I can add it while we're talking.
Okay. And see, this one this is single user, which is also one of the frustrating things. It's not multi-user. So this is already checked out. So I would have to click hold in order to, I can't check it out like immediately. Let's see about this one. And that was one of my frustrations. Like this is hold too, because I mean, everybody in the state is using this, right? That's why we're suggesting to go like first order of is your school library, if they have digital resources, and then your town library, because they'll have at least a little bit less maybe people accessing the ebooks and the but this is worth knowing about just because they have added a lot of really great titles. And sometimes the hold isn't that long. Sometimes people finish early, they return it, and you get it quicker than you think. So.
Yeah. So there are so many options, but we really mentioned what we think are the best for you right now to start with. And then what we've done is link here to all of our ebook and audiobook pages for each school. So you can go to any school library media center page and find the ebook link, audiobook link, and we have everything that's available now. I just felt that it would be a little overwhelming to just show you that whole page. So that's why we wanted to really break down what we think is most useful first for everybody to know about. But because of, during this time, so many vendors have offered free services to help people for distance learning. There is an abundance out there of other websites that are offering free ebook and audiobook titles.
Yes.
And a lot of them are nonfiction, which we haven't talked about much. So there
Right.
are, if you are looking for nonfiction, if you have a student who gets excited about a certain topic in nonfiction, like a weather book or who knows, the Mackin, right, would probably be the best place for that. And
Yeah.
are all on our in abundance of different resources if you're looking for them. But if you're not sure, you can always email us and ask what would be the best place to look for that particular title or topic.
Yes. And then going through just our slides, this is again for people who maybe weren't able to come live, or for those of you who are live with us and you just are like, oh, I forgot what they said about that. Definitely like put this presentation in your folder so that you can refer to it later, because everything is hyperlinked as well. And there's some tutorials right in here. We have all of these tutorials also like within our websites. But sometimes it's hard to find specific things that you're looking for. So this is a great one-stop shop. And this was that information we mentioned about the public library. So if you are working with other teachers as well, or maybe, they're like, well, I don't have a library card, I can't use Hoopla. Make sure they know that this is something that they can do. That there is a form, and I filled it out, and literally later that afternoon, I got an email with a temporary library card number that I could go in and I could register right then for Hoopla through West Hartford. So it's super fast, and I'm really happy that the public library is able to do that for us right now. There's a little video on how to get started with Hoopla if that's something that you really want to begin with and you're not really sure and you want a little guidance. And then a couple things to wrap up. That we just wanted to kind of give people ideas also for how to engage readers, your students, or even your own kids, really. And one of the tools that is going to be talked about in actually the next presentation, Rachel is doing that one. I'll be popping that, is Flipgrid. And I know that Monica came to my Flipgrid presentation the last couple of weeks that we had an intro to. I, as a librarian, use it for book talks is one of the things that I have used it for. So this link will bring you right to my Flipgrid page that has all of the book talks that I've recorded. I don't have a lot yet. I'm just building it. But this is one way, and actually I have it here. I don't need to. This is one way that you can get your kids to be like, hey, why don't you go check out some book talks to see if you can find something that might be interesting to you. So this is something I'm building out, but who's to say for your class, you could also create a grid that has different topics for different type of books that you could start promoting for your kids. So if you're doing a unit on World War II in U.S. history, add some books that would be interesting to kids who are wanting to go beyond just the content of your topic, or to help them understand the content of your topic. So lots of possibilities you could really use for that. And then actually on there too, I link to in every section or every topic, I linked back to my library page where I'm trying to create a virtual library where kids can browse and teachers can browse and see what's available and get them into touch with ebooks and audiobooks that they might be interested in reading, both for pleasure and for school. And then the next, this is just a slide that Monica's probably seen before, that I just hyperlinked some things that you can do to get your readers more excited, or to share the book love, as I like to say. So, I linked to that Flipgrid I just showed you. YouTube is a great way for kids to explore books. They can just look up book talks. If they have an author that they love, you could search that author's name and see what that author has done, some interviews or talking about books that they have coming or have written, and their book reviews for, or book talks for that book. And I linked it to, I've created my own kind of playlist of book talks that I've done that they can see on YouTube as well. This one I'm super excited about for all of us. It's pageturnerkids.com. It is a book review website that 2 8th graders from Bristol Middle School have started and now are running. It's really cool. It's book reviews for kids by kids. They don't even accept book reviews from teachers. I tried to volunteer to write one, and they're like, Miss Tom, we don't want your book review. We want it from kids. So really just share that with your students and encourage them to actually contribute possibly to that website. And then Goodreads as well for the older kids, the 13 and older. It's such an amazing way to get involved in book community and just get really great ideas for what they could read next. And then I have a couple of hyperlinks that are examples of creating a book poster and a toilet talker. So back when we were in school, we had some kids that helped me design toilet talker posters. And I'm just going to open it if it opens because they're just too cool. This is not my original idea. This was something that I found from another teacher. But this is the template. And you put in the little blurb about the book, the cover of the book, maybe like a quote that's great, and you hang this up in the bathrooms. And students would come to me and be like, Miss Tom, I saw this book in the bathroom. Do you have a copy of it? And I had to, like, the first couple of times I had to pause. I'm like, what? I'm like, oh, I know what you're talking about. So it does get the word out there, and it's just a fun way to share the book love. So. And then I added this, the middle school librarians, we have started our Live from the Library show. Yesterday we did our first episode. So if you want to watch that later, it's about 15 minutes long. There's a couple book talks. There's some information about upcoming author visits that everybody is invited to participate in. There are 2 middle grade authors, but I think that their books would have a lot of transferability. Natalie Lloyd, who wrote A Snicker of Magic, among others, and then Dusty Bowling, who wrote Insignificant Events in the Life of a Cactus. So this is for you as teachers, your students, your own kids. There is a Google form on all of the middle school librarian websites you can fill out so that you will get the link when that is going to happen. And then this is just a screenshot of one of the slides from yesterday. This was the book talk that I did on the list of things that will not change, Rebecca Stead's new book. And I just wanted everybody to know, if you're watching it live or watch it before tonight, there is a virtual event from RJ Julia where the author is going to be talking about her book. So I highly recommend, if you are interested in middle grade books and Rebecca Stead, you check that free author visit out. And Rachel.
I was putting in my RB Digital app information and having a couple issues. So.
Oh, boo.
Yeah. Well, it wants my library card, not the state, the CT lib code, because I said, I put in West Hartford Public Library. So I'll just put that in and it should go.
Okay.
Yeah.
And if not, we'll have to send an email to see what we can figure out for people and share that information.
I think on the computer it works, but because the app I linked to West Hartford Public Library as my library, it wants to know my library card. But probably do that, it would take the other code. So I was just checking that.
Okay.
I don't know. How is everyone feeling with time? Do you have any specific questions for us?
Let me stop here.
I had a book talk too. I read I'm Not Dying With You Tonight. And what's really cool about this is it's 2 authors writing from alternate points of view of 2 different characters. And it deals with race relations, kids who maybe don't know each other very well and are pulled together through circumstances that occur at their high school where they're stuck together for the night dealing with a fight that breaks out, and then riots happen in their city. And so Kimberly Jones is writing a character called Lena, who's an African-American female teenager, and Geely Siegel is writing from the point of view of Campbell, who is a girl who just moved to the school and doesn't really know anybody yet. And they both have different issues and different backgrounds, but they've never really gotten to know each other at the school. and are then stuck together for the night and all the things that happen. And it does a really great job of showing the different perspectives. And it would be a great book club discussion to have everybody in the book club have all perspectives represented and to see if they think it's realistic with what goes on at school. I think we would have a really rich discussion. I felt like the characters were very realistic. If I had an argument, it would be I wanted more at the end. I wanted them to kind of, I wanted to know more about the characters and what happened next. But it was really great that they had the perspectives. And I think if I were book talking it, it would be great to have a person of color to book talk it with, to say if we both thought that the perspectives of the different races were well represented. So it really ties in with a lot that's going on now too. Like Little Fires Everywhere is popular on Hulu, and that was also an amazing book. And so we're seeing a lot come with this issue of privilege and people who don't take the time maybe to know each other well and understand their own implicit bias. So really great, rich topic of conversation to pair with something like Little Fires Everywhere, and also Such a Fun Age by Kylie Reed also deals with many of these same topics. I think this has already been picked up to either be a series or a movie. So again, that sort of similar topic. Really, really great issues to talk about.
Thank you. That's awesome. And then last but not least, let me share my screen one more time with her presentation. This is your opportunity to share something that you have been reading, if you would like. And I think since there's two people that are live, I think both of you will be getting some book mail. That is my opinion. So if you want to share, I'll stop presenting again. And do either of you have anything you want to? You don't have to have the book with you right now. You can just talk about it if you don't have it physically. It's fine.
Oh no. I just really
All right.
I just start, like, I bought the Audible.
Mhm.
Yeah, I bought the Audible, like, listening on the phone, and then I think I want to read as well. So I just bought, actually I bought it during the Christmas, but I haven't time to start. So recently gave me time to like start to read. It's a really cool book, but there's a kind of related to a lot of culture. So I read it very slowly to like understand better, like go back and forth after I listen to the Audible, and then I just read the book and then compare, go back and forth. So it's a very thick book. So I think it's probably take me like 2 or 3 months to finish, but I'm really like it right so far.
Awesome.
Yeah.
I've read that one too. It's really
Yeah.
good.
Yeah.
And does she read it? Does she read the audiobook, Michelle?
She does.
Yeah.
She narrates it. Yeah.
Yeah. I bought like I'm the member for the Audible, but
Yeah.
like when I just I download the it's a Sora, right? And I said Harry Potter because I tried to encourage my daughter to read. She's only first grade, but I try to like put the Audible book for her, like listen and show the movie trailer, try to engage her, but she's still like feel like it's scared a little bit. But I just review all the movies like over the weekend. It brings me so excited. So I want to listen with her together. I just borrowed one Harry Potter, the first one, The Secret Stone. So I
good.
start to let her and me listen today. Yeah.
Awesome. Yay.
Awesome.
All right. Sarah, what about you?
I'm reading The Day the World Came to Town. I just started, and my daughter went this year with Connor to see the musical Come From Away and really enjoyed it. So I ordered it like a couple weeks ago because I had run out of books here to read. So I need to download the Hoopla app for the public library for myself.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, I saw that musical. Oh, I loved it. It was
Yeah.
so good.
Yeah. So I've just kind of gotten started, but I'm enjoying it so far. So
Good. Yay. That's awesome.
And Monica, I love what you said about being able to listen to the book while reading it. That's obviously a huge, huge piece of this. And we really try in our schools to have all the required reading that people are reading in classes as curriculum titles available on audio for all the students who need that. And we kind of tell them, if you've got your phone and your earbuds in, for the high school kids especially, nobody's going to know you're listening to a book. You don't want to be seen, reading. They won't know any different.
And that in the middle school too, this last year, we really tried to up our audiobook titles. They are a little more expensive, obviously. However, they are ours forever. There is no limit to the checkouts we can have. It doesn't expire after 12 or 24 months. A lot of the ebooks, that's the rights that the people sell, like Overdrive has signed with the publishers. That's what they have to do. So another just tip for people who are like browsing through Sora or Overdrive when you're connected to the school is if you're not sure you really want that ebook, don't check it out yet. Listen to like the blurb of it, and because otherwise it's counted as one checkout. Even if you check it out and then immediately return it, if we only get 12 or 24 checkouts, that's one that's gone. So just kind of be aware of that. But the audio, there's no limits. So the audio, if you want to just try it and you're like, I'm not really into it, you can return it and it's not a big deal. So that's just like a technical thing that I try to tell the students too. When we practice, I have them practice checking out an audiobook, not an ebook. So yeah.
Okay. So this, when I listen the Hartford, I just download. I don't need to download, right? I just open that one and click. That should work, right?
Yep. It will. And if you're connected to Wi-Fi, you don't have to worry. It's when you are like out and about, like if you're in your car or something, or if you go for a walk, and if you don't have to worry about data, it doesn't matter. But if you have to worry about data, you want to download that title to your device, because then it won't be drawing from your data. It'll just be coming through your phone, if that makes sense.
Okay. But like it's can check out 2 weeks, right? How long?
3 weeks.
Are you on? You're in Sora right now, right?
Yeah.
I believe yes, but when that like the day before, if you go into is it about? I'm going into my app right now. Hold on, because you can renew it like the day before it comes due. If nobody has it checked out, or if it's multi-user, such as that book is, it will allow you to renew, and it'll give you 14 more days. But if somebody has it on hold, a title, you won't have that option, and it'll just leave your account after the 14 days. So you just kind of have to, if you are in the app and you click on that little person, I believe. Actually, no, I don't think it's that person. I usually do this from my computer, not from my phone, actually, on Sora.
If you
click on home, it tells you where it says loans, and you can see all your loans that you currently have on your account right now. And it like this one I have, it says it's due in 8 days, like on the bottom there.
Okay.
So like on day 13, it'll have an option to renew if nobody else has it on hold.
Okay. Oh yeah, it's this one is due 13. Yes, it can borrow 2 weeks.
Yes. Yep. And we set that too. Like I could change that if we wanted to, like on my end. That's just what it always was, so I've kept it that way for now.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Also you mentioned link to the library, so it's only can link to like the West Hartford library, right? It can link to my town library or not?
With Sora?
Yeah.
Did you connect your library yet?
You mean the?
Did you
connect? I live in Southampton, so it's
you can connect that public library. Just search it in the Sora app.
When you're on your app, you go into the upper right hand corner where those 3 lines are. And it'll say add a public library. You click the green plus.
Yeah, I just search the put the zip code, right?
I think you could just type Southington too.
Yeah, either way, it'll come up. And then that you're gonna need when you go to actually check out a book from Southington, that I think is a stage where you enter your library code. number,
Okay.
the barcode number, you don't have to do that just like adding it to your app. But when you actually check out a book from the
Okay.
public library, that's when it's going to ask you to log in to your library account.
Okay, got you.
Yep.
Okay.
Also
And then-
in Sora, there are a sort of assistive technology, all kinds of help. You know, you can change font sizes, you can highlight, you can put bookmarks in there, you can search for a specific quote and it will take you right to that page. So once you know, just try downloading a book and kind of playing around in there, and it's got other options besides just reading it. It lets you be an active reader, which is nice.
And for the audio, one of the tools that I always use is the speed in which the narrator is reading. Because it drives me bananas when it's regular just 1.0. That's too slow for me. I need it to be at least 1.5, sometimes 1.5. And that just is kind of what your ears prefer.
Yeah.
And I've noticed that the longer I've been listening to audiobooks, it's been a good, it's been many years that I've used that as one of my main sources of reading. It gets your brain kind of shifts and you like it a little faster. I think when you're first getting started with audiobooks, it's a different input and your body adjusts a little bit. So some people might keep it on 1.0 because it's too fast for them if they speed it up at first. So you just have to figure out kind of what you prefer. And I tell the kids that too, you know, some kids will say, well, I don't like audiobooks. And I'm like, if you've never listened to one, you don't know if you like them or not. Like you have to try them and it's something it's a habit you build and it's something you get used to. You might not like it right away because it's different, but I feel like if they give it a chance and they just keep kind of doing it, they will really learn to like it. Because like you said, kids that are on the bus, I have kids who listen to audiobooks on their way home, or they go out and they walk, or they're in their car traveling and they can't read because they get sick. They get motion sickness. So I say, oh my gosh, you can totally listen to audiobooks. Like that is such a great option. If you're not able to, if you're stuck in your car and going to practice for your brother for 2 hours every day, there's things you can do. Like it's, you know, so I think it just really opens up opportunities. Donalyn Miller, who is the author of Book Whisperer, she says there's like steal minutes. So readers, we try to steal minutes. So like say I'm in the grocery store and I have my book, I'm always listening when I'm in line. Like I'll have my earbuds or my ebook and I'll just be reading. So, you know, or if I'm in the doctor's office waiting. It's minutes that we normally would be like, oh, I'm just going to like wait. But that might be the only time we have a chance to read throughout our day because things are so crazy busy. So just recalibrating ourselves to find those times. That's my PSA for today.
If you all have any questions, don't hesitate to, you know, send us an email. If anybody else is asking, please refer them to us and we're happy to help. We can search specific titles, and if we don't have it, we can see who does have it. Anything at all, we're happy to help.
Yeah, and last but not least, just for ease, put in your email address just in the comments. I know I can get it from the invite too, but I will we'll send you a follow-up email just with some information. So, and I'm going to communicate with you about your address and we'll get you some book mail.
Yay!
Yay!
So, Melissa, do I need to put my email address in the chat?
Well, do just so that it'll remind me to do it. You know, just so it's in there, because I'll go back and I'll remember, Monica. But all right.
All right.
Well, I'm going to stop.
Thank you so much.
To have you here.
Yeah. Thanks very much
for coming.
Yeah. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.
Thank